So good morning everybody. We'll be dealing with what skin, that skin in your body. First of all, we are going to start by what is skin. Skin is just what is an organ that covers all parts of your body, like covers all parts of your body. It is protective in function, covers the parts of your bodies. Okay, you have skin. When you close your eye, you found out that there was skin there. So we know that it is largest organ, constitutes 15 to 20% of what the total mass. It forms the external covering of the body. Okay, that's the same thing. There are two major types of skin: thin skin, which is also known as hairy skin, and we have thick skin, which is also known as what? Glabrous skin. By glabrous, we mean that it is smooth, it is bowed, and it is hairless. So that is what. So you thick skin. Whenever you see glabrous, thick skin. Glabrous, it does not have hair. It is bowed. So other parameters of variation, we have thickness, mechanical strength, softness, flexibility. All these things differ depending on what, even innervation, where you find them. Some parts of the body are highly innervated. Some sensory parts, like around your what, if it is the females, you have around your areola, all these sensitive parts, they are highly innervated, and whenever it is sensitized, you see, whenever it is stimulated, it's what easily was sensitized the skin there. So we have thin skin. Thin skin is, I've told you, is also known as hairy skin. We have contents of thick skin. Maybe you are looking at a slide. How can you know that this is what a thin skin? You can know that this is a thin skin by the presence of what? Hair follicles. Hair follicles. See, the hair follicles invaginate from the what? Epidermis into the water dermis. So that still shows you that the hair follicle is a part of the dermis. Okay, you see your sweat glands. The sweat glands are closely, look at the slide, the sweat glands are very close to the what? That hair follicle there. And then you have your erector pili, which helps in the contraction. If it contracts, the hair, maybe, yes, the hair will be erect, maybe during cold or any other thing. So we have, you see your sweat glands. Your sweat glands are everywhere in the skin. You have your adipose tissue, they are also in the skin. So you look at the slide, you follow it. You have the epidermis and everything. So this is your thin skin. You see that we have your epidermis as number one. See the epidermal layer. The epidermis of the skin is what? Stratified, squamous, keratinized. Okay, stratified, squamous, keratinized, what? Epidermal layer. So that is it. Stratified, squamous. It is what? Also what? Is it keratinized? Yes, the skin should be keratinized now. There should be keratin in the skin layer. So you see number one, that is your epidermis. Number two, this is your dermis. All those layer, every other place that is not epidermis is what? The dermis. So number three, you see that there is this hole there. This hole, and it's connecting to the dermis. You know that this hole that connects to the dermis is showing you that there is something that invaginates from the epidermis to the dermis. You should be thinking about the what? Hair follicle. So that number three should be your hair follicle. So all this number three should be your hair follicle. Number three should be hair follicle. Okay. When you have number four, you have your what? Spacious glands. Spacious glands are found closely to what? Hair follicles mostly. Found closely to hair follicles. So sweat glands was not shown here, but I believe sweat glands should be here. They are little, they are very, very small. So the thick skin, also known as glabrous skin, I've told you that glabrous skin means that it is what? Bowed. It's what? Hairless, without hair, smooth, glabrous. So your thick skin, where can you find this thick skin? You can find in your palm, in your what? Sole. Yes, that is where you find your thick skin. You see that your palm doesn't have hair, does it? No, it doesn't. The ventral surface of your palm doesn't have hair. So there is absence of hair follicles, of course. Sweat glands is there. Sweat, we must note that there are no sebaceous glands, but there are sweat glands. Sebaceous glands are not there, but they are sweat glands, because when you are under tension or something, you find out that your palms are what? Sweating. For some people. For some people. You understand? So you see your thick skin. You see that the epidermal layer there is another level. And you see your keratin. Number one should be keratin on top. Number two, your epidermis. And you see them. Sorry. So you see your dermis. In the dermis, you see your sweat glands. You cannot find that hole that will connect the dermis to the epidermis, because it doesn't have what? Hair follicle. So with this now, you already know that this is a thick skin that is coming from a what? From the part of what? A hard area of the body, or if it is not coming from somewhere that it's from a thin skin. This slide now is coming from a thick skin, maybe from the palm or from the sole. Reason: absence of what? Hair follicles. The one we can even see. Then before you start checking, there is no sebaceous glands and everything. Of course, sebaceous glands are lying closely to what? The hair follicle. If they are not there, you see their mates are not there. So you have your adipose. Number 3 is the dermis. The whole area is the dermis. Your 4 is your sweat glands. Dot 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 dot. Number 5 is adipose. Adipose, there are nothing there. They are just cells, empty cells. So this is your thick skin again. Number 1, you have your keratin. Number 2, epidermis. You see that there are layers of epidermal cells here. We'll come to that. Number 3, you have your dermis. Number 4, your sweat gland. So the structure of the skin consists of 2 layers, the epidermis and the dermis. Epidermis is just your superficial layer made up of what? Stratified squamous epithelium. You can say stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. The dermis is a deeper layer, and it's made up of connective tissue. Normally made up of connective tissue. This connective tissue helps to hold structures. If it's in a thin skin, you think of hair follicles, you think of sebaceous gland. If it's in a thick skin, you think of what? Your sweat glands, and other things, your vasculations. So this is the epidermis. It is stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Okay, so it is what? How can I know the epidermis? If they give a slide of the epidermis of a skin that is coming from what? The skin. Remember, you're meaning what? Epidermis is just the covering. Okay, epidermis. Okay, the epidermis from a skin should have what? Elevations and depressions. The elevations are formed by the dermis. Can you see the dermis going up? That's projection up. Then the dermis is invaginating, so that forms an epidermal ridge known as the epidermal it forms the epidermal ridge, okay, known as the rectal ridges. Yes, epidermal ridges known as the rectal ridges. So you see that the dermis is projecting towards the epidermis. The epidermis is invaginating the dermis. So that is what it knows. It has projections and elevations. So the projection, it has depressions formed by the epidermis. Elevations, okay, by the epidermis. Although this is like, if you look closely, I want you to understand what I'm saying. Understand? So you still see that you have some things here. So these are found mostly where this kind of projections and elevations and depressions are found mostly in your palms, your fingers, your ventral surface of your fingers, and your feet. So they say that you will now note that there are many layers. You see all the layers there. We are coming to that. See, they are arterial. You see that this thing is not what? This guy is not your. That place is labeled arterial. Go down there, down. The last labeling, arterial. It is not your what? It is not your follicle your hair follicle. Why? Remember I told you that hair follicle connects the dermis to the epidermis, so it will form a hole, then it will now project towards the epidermis. This guy doesn't do that, but it contains some all those things. So this should show you that this guy is also a vasculation, but it is not your hair follicle. So surface of the epidermis. Epidermis, I've told you, it forms epidermal ridges, and this epidermal ridges, we have told you, you find it more on your palm. Yes, on your palm, probably your sole. If it is there, is it in your sole? Yeah, I think there are ridges also in your sole. Yeah, and then your fingers. It is this epidermal ridges or retinal ridges. It calls retinal ridges. Make what is responsible for the unique fingerprint. That someone has a fingerprint is because of these retinal ridges. Okay, because of the epidermal foldings, elevations, making the epidermal ridges makes an individual have his own what unique fingerprints. So if you go to the diagram, the first diagram, fig 12.3, you find the dermal papilla. The dermal papilla, I told you the dermis is projecting upwards. Then you have your what in 12.2, you have your epidermal papilla. Okay, are we there? Yes. Layers of the epidermis. You have the stratum corneum, stratum lucidum, stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum, stratum basale. But let's start, like for me, how I will start is was stratum basale. When you hear of basale, base should come to your mind. This stratum basale will still explain it. Look at the diagram, the last layer. So this layer now, the stratum basale is a boundary, forms a boundary between the what epidermis and the dermis. If you can see very well, you see the stratum basale. After the stratum basale go up, you see the stratum spinosum. If you can even zoom it in, you can see that there are many spines. See, spinosum probably, but these are connective tissue. But it's stratum spinosum though. Stratum spinosum. Also spines, I think there are spines there. We'll still get to that, sha. We have stratum granulosum, granules, see them. These are cells, deeply staining cells. They contain granules that are stratum lucidum, clear, homogeneous. Think of lucidum. See it. And we have what stratum corneum. Look at this guy. Outermost layer is stratum what corneum. So we have what the stratum spinosum, the stratum basale. It is the also called as stratum. It is also called what stratum germinativum. The stratum what germinativum, from germinate, germinal, you get stratum what germinativum. The unique characteristics here, what you should note here is number one, it is the epidermal cells here are made up of simple columnar cells. Number two, there are stem cells here. There are stem cells. Stem cells are uncommitted pluripotent cells. Okay, they can differentiate to form anything. So they differentiate, they can form keratinocytes. These keratinocytes are now the major cells that will now be forming the superficial layers, okay, of the more superficial layers. That means the order of the other stratum. Okay, so they undergo differentiation, they form the, you understand that we have what this guy is the stem cells that undergo differentiation, they form keratinocytes. Remember, it's not only keratinocytes they can form, but I'm just telling you that these keratinocytes are important because they will form the more superficial layers, the stratum spinosum cells, all those granulosum, lucidum, they will be forming them. Okay, so this is what you should know about the stratum basale. See them, it's pointing, the arrow is pointing towards stratum basale, simple columnar what cells. Okay, how the stratum spinosum. Stratum spinosum is also known as the Malpighian. The Malpighian what layer? What is unique about the stratum spinosum? Whenever you hear stratum spinosum, you think of spines. Okay, what are spines? Prickle cells. Prickle has what? Spines. Whenever something is a prickle, you should have projections, spines. So this stratum spinosum, they contain what? Polygonal what? Keratinocytes. These polygonal keratinocytes hold each other. They are not separated, they hold each other. They are numerous and they hold each other through what? They are numerous what? Desmosomes. They have desmosomes. Remember, if you remember that in I think what is this called again? I think this thing, your lateral layer from, what is it called? Protective and glandular epithelium. That lateral layer there, at least the one I've read to, you have your gap junctions, tight junction, desmosomes. So you should just think of it as this is an epithelial cell, of course. So they should have a lateral layer, okay? And that's a characteristic of an epithelial cell. They should have a lateral layer. This lateral layer contains desmosomes. They hold each other with that what? Desmosomes. So the keratinocytes, I've told you, they are called, okay, they are also called prickle cells because they have projections or spines, which you'll see in the next slide. You see, these are the polygonal keratinocytes found in the layer stratum spinosum. Look at them. Look at their spiny projections. Look well. They are holding each other. So the next layer we look at is stratum granulosum. Granulosum. Think of what? Granules. Whenever you think of granules, you think of what? Deep staining. So this layer is characterized by what? 1 to 5. They are made up of few layers, 1 to 5 layers, but they contain deeply stained cells that have what? Deeply what? Staining what? Granules. Okay, the cells, not only they are pyknotic, means that they can come together, they can compact, and they can what? Like stay together. Cells, you just form cluster, compacts, and you see them, you think it's one cell. So that their granules now, they will absorb a lot of dyes, and that is why they are deeply what? Staining. Their granules contain a special protein known as what? Keratinohyaline, a precursor to keratin. So it is here that you find your what? Keratinohyaline. Remember I told you the Malpighian layer. I told you something about the Malpighian layer. They have that stratum spinosum. We have their spiny like cells. This one, the special thing is that they have what? Keratinohyaline. They have protein keratinohyaline cell, and they also have the keratin filaments in the cells, non-numerous and arranged to form what? A thick what? Layer. Yeah, that is what you should know. Okay, so you have your stratum lucidum. Stratum lucidum, you think of homogeneous light. It appears homogeneous. You cannot even, it's extremely indistinct. So the main thing is that this layer is a superficial layer that is what? Found after the stratum granulosum. It is homogeneous and the boundaries are extremely what? Indistinct. They cannot be cut out from this. No matter that it is very well distinct here, you can see that this guy is a stratum spinosum, where the arrow is stratum lucidum, where the arrow is pointing. But maybe in real sense it is all jam packed. You can hardly, maybe you cannot even identify it. It's there safe. So we have the stratum corneum. This is the most superficial layer. This layer is acellular. What does it mean to be acellular? This layer is without cells. So you see that stratum lucidum has cells. They have flattened nuclei cells. Okay, flattened nuclei. When you hear of flattened, you should be thinking of squamous cells. Okay, this layer are cellular, but it contains a special stuff known as what? Elements. They have no cells, so everything is just like in their cytoplasm. Okay, they don't have cells, so which kind of cytoplasm? Let's just say that don't have cells, but they should contain something like their since they don't have cells. Cells are organelles now. The cells means they should have organelles and all those things. They don't have the cells. They are just this empty space. Maybe your interstitial fluid, you contain something like that. They should contain something that will form the base. They should, but they are the most superficial layer, and they contain scale-like elements known as queens. So the main thing is starting conium. They don't have cells, but they have what? Queens, which is what? Elements. Queens are held together by what? Glue-like material containing lipids and carbohydrates. This lipid make them what? Highly. So you see the layer, maybe this adipose, something like that. I don't know. That was even cells. But then all these fats, probably, don't know. But they contain this. Just this, like having your hand. You bring butter, then you make a layer of butter on the bread. That butter now, let's just say that is how these guys are. They have a layer of something like lipid and carbohydrates, and then these element creams are embedded into the protein, okay, and make it highly resistant to what? Permeation by water. Okay, video.